So today we want to do another day of testing of our Pirelli Angels that we got from Vlad. I had some comments on the comments section that these tires belong on a gold wing and they're really touring tires, which maybe they are, I don't know. But they sure are sticky on the edges. The edge rubber on these is plenty sticky. And I've been trying to push it a little bit harder each time. I've gotten it to the point today that I'm really convinced at Pirelli on their conversion chart lists these as true sport bike tires. Maybe our friend that thinks they are gold wing tires, maybe they are. I don't really know. Today promises to be a really nice riding day, except for the usual things we always have to do: move motorcycles around, check them, pre-flight them, feed the fish. We already got pickles made, so we got that out of the way. The farm always needs maintenance, but then we're pretty much free for the day. So the first thing it seems like every day is to move the motorcycles around. The one I want to ride is always in the back. It's uncanny how that happens, just totally uncanny. But it gives me some extra exercise. Now today, because I want to test tires, I want to make sure, absolutely sure, and I do check the tire pressure every time I ride. I want to make sure I'm within the spec that I really want to have, and that normally would be 30 on cold days, 28 on hot days. Where I ride, it's pretty bumpy. That works for me. It's not a track day, but you can figure it out yourself, what pressure is going to work the best for you. It's going to be a relatively hot day. We're going to try to put the tires to a little more of a test than we did the first testing day, get the edges worn a little bit better. But first I want to pre-flight the bike, of course, check everything, make sure I'm not going out with some fender coming off or some bugs on the windshield. Now, a lot of people don't do this. I understand that. It's okay. And in my case, this is one of the things I enjoy about motorcycling. Maybe you do too. And of course, the primary thing is always with the radar detector, because where we ride, it's there is law enforcement everywhere. Okay, how many guys want to go ride in the R1 today? Paul is. Only room on the back for one. Sorry. Sorry, Charlie. Now, every time I test new tires, I try to compare them to something that I know very well. I do know Michelin 2s very well. I've had them on many, many bikes, many sets. And these tires are very, very similar in feel, the way the motorcycle feels, to a set of Michelin 2s. Now, the reason I tested these tires to begin with and didn't get another set of Michelins, Vlad suggested I try them. He gets really good mileage on his collector bikes, the Bermudas and the Aprilas. So he's really happy with these tires. So, and I trust his opinion. He's a tire dealer. Now, unlike the MT-09, this does not have traction control or ABS or any of the modern features. Remember, this is an '09. It's basically 13 years old now. But in this, I just am a little careful of getting on the gas early, especially when I'm not familiar with the tires yet. So I really never found out. I know people like Fast Mike that have Gold Wings, and maybe they do put these tires on Gold Wings. So maybe the people that were commenting on the channel, maybe they're right. I don't see any reason not to put these on a Gold Wing, to be honest. Now these tires have a much stiffer carcass than the Michelins. The Michelins you can almost mount in your sleep. These you better really be in a good mood to mount them. They are a stiff, very stiff carcass tire, but they handle just like the twos. Now, even on the slow switchbacks, where you really can tell if the front tire is flexing or not, these tires seem to handle very nice on an R1. Now, again, what we're really looking for, though, is for these to outlast the mileage that I was getting on the twos and on the threes, which I've had both on the R1 already. Now, as I'm writing this, Luciano has a set of the similar tires in the sizes that belong on an R6. He's been out riding his R6 on a regular basis, and he's real happy with these tires. But even he, with his tire machine, had a lot of trouble mounting them. Now, a good old school test that I've done for my whole life is once the tires get hot, middle of the ride, toward the end of the ride, and it was a hot day, do a quick check of the tire pressure. If they're 2 pounds hotter than they were when they were cold, you're probably really in the ballpark and probably as good as it's going to get. Now, on the Pirelli chart that's on the internet, you can read it, and they really list these as not touring tires. They list them as total sport bike and not really track bike tires either. They're in the very soft end. Now I have to see what kind of tires Fast Mike has on his Gold Wing, because he rides with Jose, and he rides at a very brisk pace. I know he's a good rider, but the whole thing is, I can imagine if I go look at his bike over the weekend, and he's got these tires on his Gold Wing. Now, there really would be nothing to stop you from putting real soft track bike tires on a Gold Wing. There would be nothing to stop you from putting Gold Wing tires on a real sport bike that you were taking to the track. And if you weren't a super expert rider, it probably wouldn't even matter. Maybe it wouldn't matter if you're intermediate. Now, I would be willing to bet if Luciano and I were still doing track days, I'd like to give these a shot on the track. And we ride with the middle group, and probably I wouldn't be overriding the tires. I wouldn't be riding with the guys with tire warmers anyway, so these might be fine. I don't know, but if anybody has used them on a track, let me know. And I'm sure you can look at the video and see what my riding style and skill level is pretty quickly. And if you're riding a lot faster or a lot slower, maybe some of this you have to fine tune. But basically, I'm riding on the street only, and probably at 80% most of the time. Now, many times I've durometered these tires out, and the Michelin 2s that I already have, and I've done it at similar temperatures when all the bikes were at the same temperature in the garage. Checked the tire temperature when I did it, and they're very close. They're within a number or two. These seem 1 or 2 numbers harder, but not a whole lot. Now, if this bike had traction control and safety features like the MT-09, I'd be a lot more aggressive. But with this bike, as always, no traction control, I'm just a little slower getting into where I'm really going to lean on it. But very soon, we're going to really put it to the test. We'll take a ride with Jose and put it to the real test. Now, I don't deal with race tires, but if you're so inclined and want to know more about race tires, check out the YouTube site, Contact Patch, Dave Moss. Dave Moss, Contact Patch. Good race tire information. This ride was a little over 100 miles, and as the day went on, this is the third or fourth day I've been out riding on this set of tires, and I'm building up some confidence in them. But I am going about it very, very slowly and cautiously because of not having traction control. Now, as the day wore on and I got a little bit more aggressive, the tires don't show any indication that they're going to step out or slip or slide or anything. So with every ride, I'll get a little more aggressive, but then I really have to take a group ride and see how they hold up against the guys with with the real sport bike tires. Anyway, but I guess we'll find out, and maybe we'll find some gold wings using these. It's all maybe coming up soon. What a beautiful day for a ride, baby. What's for lunch? Salad. Salad. Oh, my favorite. How did I know that? So the day turned out to be just perfect. The weather could not be any better for riding. Roads were clean, and you never get bored with this motorcycle, that's for sure. If you're bored with this motorcycle, I don't know. Anyway, I hope you're at work getting paid full salary for watching when you ride around. And even better, if you're riding around right after work. Anyway, I do enjoy editing the videos and sharing the rides, and hope you enjoy watching. So I would have to think at this point in time that Vlad was right, and that these tires are probably, they suit my needs traction-wise. And we will report when we get to the mileage where it's time to replace them, and see how they hold up against the Michelin 2s that we replaced it with. So while we're sharing tire information, if you go to any website to buy tires, especially for old bikes, you notice a lot of tires are out of stock and not available. Well, you figure that out yourself. I tried to buy a tire for the RD, and I looked everywhere. Rear tire, the one I had on the bike, the Sport Demon, unobtainable. And finally, Vlad found one from his dealer network, and I thank you, Vlad. But it's just more difficult now to get things. I would say get a set of tires for your bike long before you need them, so that the day comes they don't. Especially if you have an odd size, like on some of the old historic bikes that I have, they're oddball sizes. And thanks so much for watching.